Hello, everybody. It's me, Karen. Apparently, people asked us if we could do like little intro videos and talk about ourselves a little bit. So this is mine, and I'm currently getting messages from Danielle threatening to harass me while I'm doing this. So I apologize if there are pauses. It's me reading her harassment. So I'm just gonna jump right in. Like I said, my name is Karen. I'm one of the from the stands panelists from I don't know what I'm doing. I have not prepared for this at all, so sorry. But according to this, I can do this for 8 hours straight, and YouTube won't kick me off. So first question: favorite team? I'm pretty blatant about being a big Reign FC fan. They were Seattle Reign. The first 7 seasons of the league, or however long this league has been going on. But they're Reign FC now. And I love them. It was hard for me to pick a team because I live in Southern California. We don't have any teams so I had to pick a West Coast team because that was just a rule that I set up for myself because they're the closest team to me. So it was between Portland and Seattle, and I picked Seattle because the team had Hope Solo and Megan Rapinoe on it, and I don't know, I watched the first season of the NWSL without a team, and then like based what I was going to pick off of that season, and I decided Portland won, and I was like, I don't want to be a bandwagoner, so I'm not going to pick Portland. I'm going to pick Seattle because they were like second from the bottom, and I was like, cool, I'll pick an underdog. And then that next season is when they pulled in Kim Little and got the Shield, and then got the Shield the next season, and I was like, I did good. So yeah, they've been my team since then. And that works right into this next question, which is, who is my favorite player? And I said it before, but Kim Little is my favorite player ever. She's my favorite player that's ever been on my team, and she's just my favorite player, just my favorite player. I'm sad that she's not in this league anymore because it's harder to watch her games for Arsenal, but she's incredible, and I'm really excited to see her play in the World Cup. Next question. Do you watch sports outside of women's soccer? If so, which ones, and who are your team's players? I don't watch other sports besides soccer, but I do watch men's soccer. I watch MLS. I grew up an LA Galaxy fan, and then LAFC came out of nowhere, and Mia Hamm is one of the owners, so I've been steadily switching my allegiances. But for the most part, I support both of the LA teams. But LAFC is radical. A sport that's not soccer, I would say I enjoy watching hockey. It's really fast-paced, and yeah, it goes quicker than most of the other American sports because they don't tend to stop every 2 seconds and throw a little yellow flag into the air that I still don't really understand. So yeah, I would say hockey as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm a Chelsea fan, so y'all can find me on Twitter and yell at me about that. That's fine. I'm used to it. Favorite Marvel and DC characters? That's fun. Like Danielle said in her panelist video, I'm a big DC fan, and I've always been a big DC fan, except my brother was more of a Marvel person, so I read his X-Men comics a lot in secret when he was not in the room that we shared. So I would say my favorite Marvel character would be the X-Man, the X-Man Gambit. Gambit has always been one of my favorites. Probably just because he's kind of like this like smarmy, tongue-in-cheek, charming. I don't know. He's epic. Yeah, Gambit. And then DC character, if you know anything about me or if you follow me anywhere on any social media, I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. And yeah, like Danielle said, it's very cliche. But I've been a Wonder Woman fan since I was like a wee child, watching Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, like on TV Land and stuff like that. And then the comics and stuff. And, you know, I was raised this like big old feminist. So Wonder Woman all the way. And let's see. I keep going down. If they made a sitcom about your life, what would it be called? That's really hard. I don't know. It would have to be something that is completely the opposite from the way my life actually is. So it would be like some adventurous title, because my life is not adventurous. So the quest for meeting an elephant. We're going to go with that. Because every day I spend a stupid amount of time Google imaging elephants and just being like, well, I want to meet one real bad. So that's probably going to be my sitcom title. And then you would actually watch the sitcom and be like, this has nothing to do with her life. All she does is she sits and reads books and writes stories and watches TV. This is so boring. But yeah, the quest for meeting an elephant, and then in like the series finale, it would have absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the series, which is just me living my life and being a doofus. And the series finale would just be me at like, I don't know, like some jungle in Asia or in Africa. And I would like bow at this elephant and then it would bow back at me and then I would like, and it would like go like this and then we would walk off into the horizon together and it would be like in cartoons where the screen goes ooh, and just like focuses on us going off into the horizon together. That would be the series finale of my sitcom called A Quest for Meeting an Elephant. I don't know why I don't have a show. So many reasons. Next. God, that was so weird. What's your Hogwarts house? This is, again, everybody's gonna be like, oh, fmur, but I'm a Gryffindor. Like, every part of me is a Gryffindor. Every quiz I've taken, I've gotten Gryffindor, except for this one time I took Pottermore quiz, and I must have been like in a mood or something, but it picked Ravenclaw for me. But for the most part, I'm a Gryffindor. I have all of the qualities. Yeah. So my Patronus, I'm saying that instead of spirit animal for reasons. But when I took the Pottermore quiz, I got Black Stallion. So make of that what you will. But I think Pottermore quiz aside, it would probably, like, if I'm being more realistic, it would be some like mischievous digging mammal creature, like a like a mole or or a groundhog. A groundhog with a fun personality, or like a meerkat, maybe. Probably perfect and appropriate because I kind of resemble a meerkat. So yeah, I'd probably be more of like that kind of creature, or like some marsupial. Um, if I'm just being realistic. Uh, let's see, what's next? What's your biggest accomplishment? No. Biggest accomplishment. Okay, fine. It would be really easy for me just to say when I graduated from college, which there's my diploma and my tassel right here. Woo! That's my brother's diploma. That's not important. But I guess that maybe. If you want me to get a little more personal and deep, I'm not gonna get too personal because please. But when I was in middle school, I was bullied a lot, and so I had this like very small personality when I came out of middle school. And the usual effects of getting bullied, where like you hate yourself and stuff, and you don't like talking to people or being in front of people or getting any kind of attention whatsoever. And I joined theater class and stuff when I was in high school. And from 8th grade to being a senior in high school, I experienced what the English major in me is going to call character growth. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was actually auditioning for plays in which I would be on a stage in front of people, memorizing lines and acting. So that by the time I was in Spring Musical, which was Gypsy, I auditioned and got the part of one of the strippers, Miss Electra, and I got to wear this helmet with like spikes on it that had lights, so that when it was my time to shine, all the lights in the theater would go down, and these would be all like blinking and sparkling, and then I did like a honk while the horn was like, and that is not something that I saw happening back when I was in 8th grade. And so there was a lot of, like I said, character growth. And I guess that's a big accomplishment. Hopefully it doesn't sound like I peaked in high school, because that's not what I'm going for with that. But yeah, I felt like that was a really big accomplishment, because that was a hard thing that I went through, and I came out of it as a stripper. Just kidding. How and when did you get into women's soccer? I got into women's soccer when I started playing women's soccer, so like when I was 5. But it was hard to follow because it wasn't really on television. So I guess when the '99 World Cup happened and then WUSA started, I would go down to San Diego to watch some professional games sometimes. More of a trek. That's like a 2-hour drive. So I didn't go often, but I went often enough to say that I probably followed women's soccer. But because I was a kid, it kind of depended on when my parents wanted to do that. So probably more like 2011, when we actually had access to television, and NWSL started shortly after that. So yeah. Why are you the way that you are? Danielle, why do you do this? I don't know why I am the way that I am. I don't know. The experiences that I've had getting to this point, maybe. Maybe the stuff that I watched a lot when I was a kid, like the Dick Van Dyke Show and I Love Lucy, and I watched a lot of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton and like Jean Arthur and all of these comedians that kind of built the way that I deal with things, which is through humor and dry wit, and probably a lot of sarcasm. And that's probably why I am the way that I am. And to, again, get a little bit more personal, probably just the people around me that were supporting me so that I'm not like a wreck, considering some of the stuff that I've gone through. I don't even know what I just said. What's the best advice you've ever received? That's hard because I don't listen a lot to people, and I haven't been around, like, you know, people go and like meet their heroes and stuff like that. I haven't really met any of my heroes, so I haven't gotten like any like inspirational hero advice. You know what? In college, I had this professor who taught this class on like theology, and like it was specifically on like love, and I think it's called like Eros and stuff like that. I'm probably saying the wrong word. But he was a really open, nice, older man who was like really soft on the inside. And he was very approachable. So a lot of us in that class would go to his office hours and talk to him about stuff. And he really fostered us doing stuff like that in like our essays, pumping our like personal selves into our essays, which kind of went with the theme of the class because it was all about like love and feeling and emotion and stuff. And so I wrote this essay while I was senior year, and my Nana had just passed away, and I wrote this like just like all of my feelings just went like into this like essay, and I don't even remember what the prompt was. It probably didn't even go with the prompt, but he was such like an open professor that he would be okay with that, so I just did it. And so he had me come to his office hours so that he could talk to me about my essay, and he was just like, you know what, I can tell in class, like, you don't say a lot, you don't raise your hand a lot, but this like this is where you're at. This like writing is what you should be doing with your emotions, because I can tell that this is how you handle things, is you put them down on paper. You don't like using your voice. And I was like, no, I don't like using my voice. It's true. Especially in front of people. But also just talking about my feelings is not something that I do. And he was just like, that's okay. And his advice, and that's something that I think really resonates with me. It might not resonate with like everybody, but his advice was really like, if you don't like talking about the way that you're feeling, that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're like broken or weird, because you have a way that you can do that. You can put it down on paper, and that's just how you deal with things, and that's fine. And so in the future, if you are overwhelmed with whatever is going on in your life, all you have to do is write it down however you need to write it down. You don't need to show anybody. Nobody needs to even see it. But if you write it down, it might make you feel better. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you. Because my whole life I was like, I don't deal with my emotions properly. And I know I don't, because I was always surrounded by people who were just like, I'm having emotions right now. I'm going to talk about it with everybody, because I was around theater kids all the time. And I was like, I'm having emotions. I'm not going to say anything about it. And I'm just going to hold it right here. And that's just what's going to happen. So it was nice to hear from somebody that I respected be like, that's okay. That's just how you operate. And that's not weird. You're just different from the people that you've been around, and you should embrace it and write stuff down. So that's what I do, and that's how I deal with when I'm having a lot of emotions. I write stuff down, either in a story or just like this is the worst thing ever. And then I just either erase it or just throw it in a file somewhere. So hopefully that helps somebody. I don't know. I don't know if that was the point of this prompt. But there you go. That's the advice that okay. Which international would you like to see in NWSL that hasn't already played here already? I did have to prepare for this one but like I said, which includes the women's team, and I would love to see the Korean player G in NWSL. I think that she is one of the most incredible players that I've ever watched play. She's magnificent and creative, and she's so fast, and her feet are just like, and it's. I would love to see her on any of the NWSL teams. That would be radical. G, if you're out there, you watch this. If you would like to take probably what is going to be a huge paycheck cut, and potentially live in maybe like a super humid, hot climate, depending on where you end up, go to NWSL, and good luck. Favorite guilty pleasure TV show? I don't have a lot of guilt about things that I enjoy. Similar to what Danielle said, I've reached a point now in my life where I don't care if people either want to like make fun of me for the things that I watch, or I don't care. I don't really have any guilty pleasures. I just have regular type pleasures. Oh God. Jesus. I really like, recently I've been getting into foreign television, like the like melodramas, especially like the period piece melodramas. Like Spain puts out some really good ones. There's Gran Hotel on Netflix. I would highly recommend you watch that. It's, if Downton Abbey was full of extremely good-looking Spanish people in like the same-ish time period, early 1900s, and I'm getting made fun of for saying regular type pleasures. And it has like, but it has murder mystery. So it's not just like a family being like, we're British at each other. It's like murder mystery and secret identity, and there's protagonists and antagonists, and they're kind of like, they blend sometimes, and it's so dramatic and delicious, and the setting is beautiful and the costumes are beautiful. I would highly recommend watching that. And also Morocco, that's also from Spain, and it's on Netflix. And some of these Korean period melodramas, also radical. I guess that's my guilty pleasure without any guilt whatsoever. I don't have guilt. Love what you love. That's my thingy. I have to unlock my phone so that I can look at the other. But okay. Favorite music genre and artist. I don't have a favorite genre because I listen to so many different genres just within like one playlist that I have made on Spotify. I'll go from like classical to rap to jazz to Americana to I don't even know. Like as far as favorite artists right now, I'm a really big Janelle Monáe fan. Not only is her music tight and like really catchy and about really cool, like love who you love, feminism, like F the patriarchy type music, but her aesthetic is so hot. I just want to take it. I want to take her aesthetic and put it on to myself. Like it is so cool. It's like old school, but I don't know, clean cut and exciting and interesting and innovative and sometimes a little steampunky. And I don't know, she's tight. If I'm going for something a little bit older, I would say I don't even know. Forget it. Fleetwood Mac, maybe? I love Fleetwood Mac. Blondie. Love Blondie. Yeah. I don't know. If you played soccer, what position would you play? I'd probably be a forward. I think I don't like the pressure of defense because you're like the last barrier between the attacker and the goalkeeper. There's a lot more. Oh no, I'm gonna sound like I'm dissing forwards. Forwards obviously you have to be able to score goals, but I don't know. There's a lot of pressure in defense, and midfielders have to run too much. But I'm lazy. And I'm saying this as somebody who played soccer like my entire childhood and part of my adulthood. So that's probably why I'm not a professional soccer player. And also the fact that I sucked. Pick your ultimate five-a-side. Oh, okay. So yeah, for your favorite NWSL, that makes it easier. I'm gonna pick players who are like alumni as well, and not just on the team now, because I want to. I would say if I'm going from back to front, I guess, yeah. Lauren Barnes. And then I would say Jess Fishlock, Keelan Winters, Kim Little, and then Megan Rapinoe. But I have to give Bev Yanez honorable mention because she has not only been a mainstay for Reign FC, she's constantly undervalued, I think, by just fans and media. Because watching her play in person those few times that Reign FC had come down for friendlies against UCLA, oh my God, she works the entire game, constantly playing defense as a forward. And she's super tough and knocks people over, and I love that. Anyways, so honorable mention to Bev Yanez, but those are my five. Is that it? That's it. Oh my God. I don't know how long this went, but sorry if it went longer than everybody else's. I'm a wordy bish. So yeah, thanks. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming. Danielle, thanks for sending me things while I was doing this so that it went longer because I looked down at my phone a bunch. Just kidding. Okay, bye guys. Love ya. Have fun out there.